Hey guys, real quick, for everybody who's thinking about what we did with the move from theme to HTML Blitz to T2H complete, that's only part of a much larger picture by now. There are very many pieces involved. We have website installer. Most of you guys know something about that. We have software installer. Many of you know something about that. We have a new installer version as well that has to do with what we're doing, this bulk installation process of being able to generate tons of websites at once. Real fast, what are some of the basics? For those of you who are already familiar with T2H, you'll be able to understand this. Okay, let's take a look. So first of all, if we go to download feed file, okay, we now have a tab for everything that's in there. All right, so it's not just the old tabs anymore. We used to not have a way of controlling testimonials, image category, image gallery, or videos. It's in there now. And you're able to use global variables for the keys, like the Google Map JavaScript API key and the reCAPTCHA key for the contact us pages. You use global variables for those. That way you have the keys in your global variables, so they're also totally controllable right here, okay? So email addresses, everything are controllable from your feed file. It's totally awesome. Let's jump ahead and go to something different. We have added, you may be seeing it already, Google Translate bar in the back end for guys working in the back end, as well as the front end of the website. You probably saw that, okay? So people coming to visit your website can see your website in, say, Spanish, right? And then people who happen to be working in the back end can display the back end in a language more familiar to them, most likely, right? And that way they can actually see what's happening back here more efficiently, you know. So it's just nice, especially if you wanted to actually sell panels around the world or produce websites around the world. What we can see from all of this is that it works. This will display in a different language in the backend, okay, no matter what the language is, okay? And it will also do the same in the front end, okay? That's totally, totally amazing because it means that this is useful to pretty much anyone, anywhere, okay? That's nice. What else? Do you know themes, right? If you remember in the old days, we had themes and we could duplicate them, all right? So our themes, well, you couldn't duplicate them, but you had more than one end of panel and you could switch between them. You could activate one or the other. We've now made it possible for you to create your own themes. You can select a theme to create a copy of it, give it a new name, all right? Just select a theme, give it a new name, whatever it is, some new thing, and even if you put symbols and stuff in there, the system will get rid of all the symbols and everything, right? But then you can go switch to that theme and you can make adjustments to it so you can create your own themes, right? So for those of you doing real estate, say in Miami Beach, Florida, as well as Seattle, Washington, you need one theme for all of Florida and then a different theme for all of Seattle. Just the colors are different, the styles are different. So what themes are in there right now? This is called the 100 stack. In this 100 stack, okay, we have 100 themes in here. What themes are they? They're the color and font combinations that you see here, okay? So this way you have themes for pretty much everything. You can just switch from one to the other, okay? Now that's pretty cool. Let's take this even further. We decided that most of the lost time in doing updates is that you have to log into the panel, okay? Panel's kind of a pain. It's nice when you can go to the administrator link and hit admin and password. But wouldn't it be better if you had something like a security key, okay, where you could just log straight into the page you wanted with the security key? And that's what we did. So how do you deal with your security key? You just generate it, right? Like, see this generate key? That'll change the security key to a new random security key. What's the point of that? Let's say you wanted to go straight to, I don't care which, say your batch global variables page, right? You want to go right there. You want to log in and be there pretty quickly, right? Because you're going to go through a bunch of websites maybe. Okay, take a look. Then I'm just going to put that link in there, put a question mark key equals, and then that's whatever the key is, right? Now, what does that mean? It means this. Let me copy it. Okay, I got my key copied. Watch this. I'm going to log out. Totally, I'm logged out of the panel, right? This is the part where you would normally have to go to the link and everything, right? Watch this instead. I'm just simply going to paste the URL in here and go. Guess what? The key acts like a password, right? So now it logged me into the back, right on the page I wanted to be on, not the dashboard, the page I wanted. And since I am logged in now, I can still go navigate anywhere else I want in the website, no problem. Pages or whatever. So it doesn't matter which page you started on, right? Like if you want content.php, fine. Then that would be content.php. Okay. So if you have a lot of panels and you want to be able to log into them one after the next efficiently, or you have a team doing that, it's a breeze. Okay. So that's a huge advantage. All right. Because now you can log straight into the panel anywhere you want to go. All right. So these are the core items that we got into on the inside of a single panel and made adjustments to make this so much easier to operate. Oh, the other things. We added a couple of global variables, right? I don't know if you know. There's URL type and folder type. URL type decides whether you want, oh, it's in the bulk global variables. I'll show you later. URL type decides if you want the URL to be in a subdomain or in the folder, the main root. And then folder type, you've got 1F, 2F, 3F. You can decide if you want 1, 2, or 3 folder levels deep. And you can also do a number 2 just to mean no folder levels. You just want to create pages in the root. Okay, so we have all the combinations. You can create pages in the root. You can create a folder level, create pages in those folders. Second folder level, pages in those folders. Third folder level, pages in those folders. So that there are no empty folders. Nothing looks funny. You can also do the same on subdomains. It could be subdomain.domain.com/pages. One folder level, all those folders, pages in there, as well as second folder level, all those pages, as well as third level folder, all those pages. You can do it in any combination you want just by switching between 1F, 2F, 3F, or the number 2 in your main file. Okay? Aside from that, I don't know if we told you this either. You can exactly determine if you want a certain subdomain, folder 1 name, folder 2, folder 3, and page name. Okay, so on the bulk global variable file, of course, there's a column for subdomain. So there's a whole column for the entire sitemap, whatever it's supposed to put in there. Same for folder 1, folder 2, folder 3, and page name, right? So all of this is there, all right? And so when you use that, along with URL type and folder type, you can create any kind of URL breakdown that you want. If you want 90% of your pages to be in the root and only 10% to be in subdomains, it's totally up to you. If you wanted control over your subdomain names, then it doesn't have to be city-service anymore. It can be anything you put in that column for the batch global variables, right? And your folder level 1, 2, and 3 and page names, you can literally decide how many pages you want to put in folder level 1. And how many folder 2s to put in there, and how many pages to put in that, how many folder 3s, how many pages to put in that, or none. Do it in any combination, and that also goes for subdomains the same way. Finally, theme. Here's a cool thing too. This is a column in the batch global variable file. Theme, 0. Guess what 0 means? It means our default theme from the themes list. Let me do that again. Okay. Themes. Our default happens to be Banner. It's the one that came originally. Everything else is based upon Banner. It's a copy of Banner with changes made to it. Okay, so we started by copying this one, selecting the theme, giving it a new name like Banner 1, and then making variations to the color schemes and the fonts. Then we made another variation, another variation, another variation. We got 100 of these. Okay, so guess what that means? Well, if I were to just start off, okay, let me do this. If I were just to take a look at the website now, okay, this is the color scheme it has for its 0, its default. Well, if I were to change this to a 5 or a 10, it would totally change the color scheme of this website to something else, right? I don't want to do it right now, only because it'll also drop the sitemap, and I didn't prep that. But that's easy, right? And for those of you going, how do you deal with sitemap issues? Because if you make changes to the base global variables, it deletes the sitemap. Go in your batch global variables section here, right? and you can export the latest Excel, and it'll have your whole sitemap, so you can just put it right back up after you make changes. Here's a new thing we did as well. What if you only want to change a few of the rows? You want to affect a certain company or a certain city or a certain state, and you just want to tweak some rows, maybe add some new ones. You can select rows to download starting from, and you would just have to know. The 15th link on the sitemap would be row 15. So let's say we're starting from row 15. And how many rows? Let's say we're going to do 100. Okay. And I can download that, and it'll download that part with ID numbers 15 through 114, right? Because it'll do 15 and it'll do 100 rows. Okay. Then what? Open it, edit it, close it, submit it, and it'll overwrite any changes from ID 15 through 114. And what if you put some new rows into that file and you added like row 2000, 2001, 2002? Not a problem. So when you upload it, you can add more rows. So if you want to work on 1,000 pages at a time, you can set up 1,000 pages, upload it into the system, and it creates the first 1,000 links in your sitemap. Then you can go in and create another file and start numbering it from 1001 to 2000 or whatever. And then you can upload that too. Wherever the ID numbers are new, it'll add them in. Wherever the ID numbers already existed, it'll overwrite that information. Total control, right? So we're controlling the URL variability and everything else. Now, here's the other point I want to make about theme, right? Because I kind of glossed over that. Theme, 0 through 100, guess what that means? In my batch global variable file, I have a column called theme. And the default is 0, but it could be any theme I have, or it defaults to 0. So guess what? I can have a different theme for anything. I can have one theme for this row in the sitemap. All the pages in there will belong to that one theme. But I can have a whole different theme for this. I could have a different theme for the next, like however many. And then I could have a different theme for just that one. So yes, you can control all the URL structures. You can control the theme per URL. Why would you do that? You would arrange the sitemap so that everything in one state uses one theme. Fir trees instead of palm trees, let's say, in the imagery, and the color schemes, right? Then for the next batch of URLs, you use a different thing, like a different state. Or if you have different companies, maybe you want to use their colors and their theme for that company only. Okay, so that would be theme 101 or whatever you create, right? So there you go. These are huge upgrades that have a lot to do with improving rank. Okay, so if you have total URL flexibility, you have total batch global variable flexibility, you have total theme control, okay, and you have plenty of themes to work with, then you can easily create multiple projects per client, especially if you get a version of T2HC that's in the software installer. So that way you can upload that to any next website. You don't have to keep paying for it. You just upload it to every next website, okay? Because that's the value of having a version of it that's portable like that in the software installer, okay? So for those of you that do not have software installer accounts, if you get the version of this that includes that, right, the software installer portable section, then yeah, then we'll go ahead and create that software installer account for you. We'll just tell you to go sign up so we can activate it, right? And then we'll put it in there for you, and then you'll have it, right? Can you put these on subdomains? Whole instances? Yes, you can. You could have 1.domain.com, 2.domain.com, 3.domain.com, and each one of them uses a whole different, uses its own admin panel and uses whichever theme and URL breakdown you wanted, in a way. Now, what if you said, I'm going to take add-on domains, okay, and put them on a single cPanel? You can do that. And you can install the T2H complete to each different add-on domain on one cPanel. So if you need to handle 100 clients, but you cannot afford 100 cPanels, because whatever, the deal's too cheap, then fine. Put them all on one cPanel. They won't know the difference. You will, but you can still operate all those domains on that one cPanel through all those add-on domains. Okay, so you have all the control in the world. It's really up to you, whatever you want to get. So let me just step over here right now and make this point, because really, I mean, I don't know what to say. The other thing that we're talking about all the time is launching so many websites automatically and being able to come back and control them all any which way we wanted. I don't know what that is. So let's say this. If you go over to website-installer.com right here, website-installer.com, hit choose your category, T2HC, okay, latest category, you're going to see 3 versions of these two, okay? The one, as you know, is the full width banner, right? That's what you're staring at here. That's where these banners run full width, and you could put a looping video in here instead of images, or you can use a combination, video followed by images or whatever you want. As you know, you can set the height of this as high as you want. You could box this whole template in or let it be full width like it is right now, and you can set the height. So you could have this be full width, full height. You can turn these bars off, and you can have this stretch all the way down. Then you can play a looping video that takes up the entire screen, right? Just a looping video. And you can have your little comments glide in, like click here, contact us, or read more here. You can do that, okay? And you can even have the looping video come to an end and land on an image and stop and stand still. So that's saying, click here, you know? Now, that's full width, okay? What are banner blocks? Those of you who've been around long enough, you know, we had a big demand for how do you get these sub pages to show up next to the banner, okay? That's a whole different thing than full width. We couldn't fit them both in the same template, so we stuck them in different templates, okay? But what it means is, hello, where was I? Over here. It means that you can, live demo, that you can have images on the side of the banner, okay? They can be on the left side or the right side or some on both. They can be this wide or they can be half and half, okay? Literally, you just set these set points in the admin panel. You say for the first 2, you say half and half. That way it goes half on this side and then the other half for this. Just puts them next to each other and then this thing moves up. But you can add more, okay? Yes, this banner can be any height we want, and it can be pretty wide. You could turn these off and have the banner go all the way across. It just won't go full width, okay? So either you're interested in banner blocks or you're interested in full width. Get them both for variability. It's up to you. By the way, the reason the colors are so weird here is because they're basic colors used for changing for the different typographies. It's how we set up all the typographies in the first place. So this isn't meant to be a color scheme. It's just meant to make color swaps easier, okay? Now, these two, this is pretty much do it yourself. It's when you buy it, it's gonna be pretty cheap on the whole. It's $250 including the hosting, okay? Scroll down, fill in your information, or if you signed in, then it recognizes you as a returning customer, right? And it'll have this for you. You can put in the optional company information if you have company information. Okay. You can always add this stuff later. Use an existing domain name that you already have, put it here, and change the name servers. It tells you how here. Or buy a new domain. Do a search here and see if it exists. And if it does, you can click here to add it. It'll tell you how much it'll cost. Okay. Now, when you're done with that, and by the way, this is not optional, right? Adding a domain, website installer will install what you buy to the domain you gave it. It needs a domain. It's got to create a cPanel on our server and install the website there. It needs to. Okay. Buying option. You can buy it with a full payment, or you can buy using a subscription. If you buy with a full payment and hit buy, you'll see where you can log into PayPal and buy, or if you scroll down, you'll see the little gray button that's almost hidden below the screen for some reason that says buy with a credit card or debit card. And so you can buy with that, okay, a credit card. If you're going to buy it on a subscription, you definitely need PayPal, okay? So if you're going to buy on a subscription, you're either going to pay for 3 months, $103.50 per month, or $60.75 for 6 months. Okay, it's rent to own, or $45 for a year. Okay, 12 months. All right, just so you know. So obviously, the longer you go, the more expensive it is. But also, if it helps you, then this is a great way to go. You can always contact me later if you want to pay the balance off early. I don't have a problem with that. Just let me know. Okay. So having said that, that's how you get it. Now, this first version, that's the cheapest. What's the difference? Let's see. Okay, yeah. Yeah. The first version is just the template with the base color. So there's really no colors, no theme per se. The default theme is this thing you're staring at, right? This is well, not that one, sorry, I didn't make changes, but the one that you see here, the one that you see sort of in the image, that's kind of the theme you'll get. It'll be that basic structure, and then you change the colors from there, however you want them. Go into the typography and change them. Now, if you want to get the one with the 100 themes so that you can swap between them automatically, that's this one and this one, okay? Now, this one here, okay, the themes are done. I already showed you that earlier on the other page, right? That's what I meant by these right here, the themes, all right? Be able to switch between the themes, use whichever theme you want. Best way to do it for automation is really to do it inside global variables, right? That's where I was telling you about the theme is a variable now. It's a system variable. These are all system variables, right? And just change the number here to whatever other number you want, you know, and it'll swap across those themes and instantly change the color schemes and stuff to whatever you want that new theme to be. You can edit the themes individually by switching between them. Now, this one for banner blocks, the 100 themes, when you buy this, it'll include them, but it's not done yet. It'll be done after a little while. Just have some patience. We got to get them done. It's a lot of work creating those things. Okay, having said that, here's the biggest one. These two here, these are unlimited, right? Unlimited, unlimited. These are the versions that go in your software installer. So if you get those, these are more expensive. They're like 6-7 times as expensive as these. But when you get these, they will carry those 100 themes, okay, and be in software installer. So you can upload them unlimited times. You can put them on as many cPanels as you want, as many add-on panels as you want. Yeah, as many subdomains as you want. Okay, so you can use it over and over again for client after client. You don't have to go buying it again. What will you want to buy, as you can afford it, is different cPanel hosting, right? Why? If you put all your websites on one cPanel, Google doesn't like it that much. But if you put on multiple cPanels, Google likes them more. So if you want to help someone rank more, get more cPanels. But they do cost you, right? cPanel hosting, here you go. Get these cPanel hosts $50 a pop. When you get them, they will include your SSL. Everything will be included to secure all of your web pages, okay? You will be able to create unlimited domain names instantly, basically. Or subdomain names instantly. All those rows, right? Batch global variables. You'll be able to put all that on your website, on each installation that you have access to. Okay. So yeah, it's totally valuable. And again, if you want to get these on a payment plan, come down here and just decide how you want that done. You can rent for 3 months, 6 months, or 12 months. You can rent your cPanels for $9 each. So if you want to get a few cPanels, right, just to set them up, no problem. Remember though, you need a domain name, right? Either an existing one or a new domain name. It's the only way that we can install the cPanel. It's got to go on a domain name. That way you can go to domain.com/cPanel and log in. Set up your email and everything else you want. Okay, so there you go. So that's how you do this, really. That's how you get what you want and then get more cPanels to put these on, okay? There you have it. Now, there are bigger packages. For those of you who say, yeah, but then 100 cPanels would be $5,000, right? You say, Dave, you were also saying that all of these 100 websites with their 4 million pages are only taking up 3% of your server. I'm funded well enough that I want to talk about doing a much bigger, better deal so I don't have to go buying all the cPanels. What can we do? Get a hold of me. We do have packages like that. You can get a version of the website installer totally for yourself, for your uses. You can get a version of the other softwares that are necessary to make this thing run, so that you can actually run full tilt at this level of power for whatever uses you have. We have guys that do that. So if you have an industry you like to run in, or you want a kind of a project to be set up, and you're curious what you can do, what we can do for you, and what you can get for in-house use, get a hold of me. Those are much bigger packages, okay? Think $30,000 and up. But if you want to go that route, then you're going to have something very large that you can work with very efficiently, and it'll change your life. When you can produce this much content this fast, and you can control it this easily on an ongoing basis, then there you have it. I mean, that's really what you need to take great control away from your competitors, right? Okay, I think that's good enough for now. I think it gives you a sense of T2HC, what's there and what's valuable, and how it integrates with everything else to some degree. So there you go. Yeah, get in, get going. We'll take care of you. Obviously, the bigger package you get, the better off you're going to be. So get the biggest one you can afford. If you want to go for the largest one here, okay, but you can't really afford $2,495 all at once, take it in payments, right? Make sure you got a PayPal account, take it in 12-month payments if you have to. That way, the first month you paid $450, and from that point, what? You just start hitting it, right? You'll take a week to learn what we're going to teach. Another week to do it, you start showing the market and collecting sales, right? Use that to pay off the balance. Get a hold of me. We'll figure out what you will. And yeah, then you'll be running full speed, okay? So it's really a big deal. Yeah, go that way if you can. Okay, talk to you soon.